Whatever comes to your mind, please share. We'll build upon that. What exactly we do with the refinery and petrochemicals? What is the raw material of refinery?
Iktaruddin, I think you can give the answer.
Is he a student of
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I'm hearing.
Yes. Give
so,
the answer.
Iktaruddin, what do you think? What is the raw material of refinery and what does the thing do? Refinery petrochemicals, what do they do?
Sir, actually, in refinery, crude oil is the raw material. It's actually mixture of substance. Actually, see 1 to say 16 around. So it's the raw material. Sir, I actually don't guess all of the question.
Sure, no problem. So very good. Yeah, Dhruvi also, yeah, crude oil or gasoline. So the crude oil, where from we get that?
Actually, it's from uh, it's actually minerals from ground of the land, earth.
Yes, Dhruvi art, because nobody from the moon or Mars will not know, but offer us some crude oil. Yeah, from depth of earthen layers. Yeah, so there are different layers of earth. There is a crust, there is a mantle, and there is a core. Now, a long days ago, there were two or three theories. Some said that due to a volcanic eruption, entire forest zone were arrested under some deposit of soil. Or some said during the growing up of some mountains due to the back thrust, the Pangea, the earth's crust, itself deposited a huge amount of animals and the forest under the soil. And some others said due to some activity, maybe a meteorite or a huge something that happened long ago before Mesozoic or this era, Jurassic era. From there itself, this thing started. So this animals, plants, they were dug themselves deeper into the ground. And after a weathering effect by decomposers, some earthworms, there are some virus, bacteria, heat, rain, water, and pressure of the earth crust, and the heat from the core and mantle, and reaction with some metals like aluminium, magnesium, even for iron. This thing slowly become extracting extractive process happens to make the oil separate from the fossils. The fossils remains dry or decomposed or vanished and the oil remained. So this is called a crude oil. This crude oil, taking the crude oil from the ground, it's a challenge. And after that processing to separate out the impurities and the value added thing is the refinery. Then whatever be the product of refinery, they become the raw material for the petrochemicals. We'll discuss with that on today. So the topic will be old refineries, how the refinery is being built. The crude oil, what is that? What is the refining process and there was downstream feedstock. And petrochemicals, if we separate them, polymers and chemicals, and what are the applications of them. So the refinery itself, as a definition, is called place or established where some substance is refined or purified. The refinery started to make the pure for metallurgy and sugar. For metallurgy, the metal, extracting the metal from the ore like dolomite, like some iron ores. The refinery first it was built up. Even for sugar, the carbons and other things, it was again built in the first part of the 19th century. But later in the 19th century, at 1865, the oil refinery started, which is a facility that crude oil and distills into various useful petroleum products. Gasoline, kerosene, jet fuel, its AVF, and other things. So the first refinery that came into world is in Romania. In Ploiești in 1865, 1856, there was abundant oil available. So 4 hectares of area was cleaned and the first refinery of the world was set up, which is a daily production of 7 ton. Now, if you tell that figure into a refinery guy, he or she will laugh at most, because today's the average production per hour itself is some times of that value here. And the old one was used to be heated by the fuel wood. I mean the fire that is obtained from wood. Today's, for heating, what is the available media in our refinery and petrochemicals? By which material we heat? Whatever, maybe the pipe, the reaction. What is the media of heating?
Actually, it's heated by furnace, and the fuel is generally refinery oil, refinery gas or natural gas. Sometimes fuel oil or FO is used to heat the petroleum product.
Very good, Ikhtiaruddin. So, to break the crude oil, not crude oil, to break the naphtha, which is a downstream of crude oil, we use furnace to reach the temperature around 830 degree, 820 degree COT. COT is coil outlet temperature. By help of fuel gas, which is burned inside the furnace and gives the gross calorific value. For power plants, we use coal or natural gas. But for small equipments like a reboiler or like an heat exchanger, what is the heating medium?
Sir, petroleum product is also a heating media in this case, or sometimes steam is used
Yes,
for
very
heating.
good. So nowadays there are a lot of availability are there. We can use the fuel for fuel oil or fuel gas to heat it at a very high temperature. For low temperature, just to heat in the in-process lines and reboilers and heat exchanger, we use steam. The steams, there are various category, like low pressure steam, which is a 4 kg per centimeter square gauge. The medium pressure steam, which is 15 kg per centimeter square gauge. The high pressure steam, around 40 kg per centimeter square gauge, or superheated steam. So these are the steams available. Even for some products or some special applications, electrical heating is also there by electrical coil and plates. But for at that time of 1856, only available and cheap was the firewood. Wood was abundant. So this was the first distillery. For India, can anybody tell where was the first refinery built up? Where in India was the first refinery? Any guess? Name any place of the in the India, because there is no negative marking on negative scoring for
Big
your
boy,
exam.
big
Yes,
boy in
Yuvraj.
Assam,
Yes, it
big
is
boy in
Digboy.
Assam.
Very good. It is Digboy in Assam. Very well done, Juvraj. So the Digboy, 11 December 1901, it was commissioned, and it is the oldest operating refinery named at or nicknamed as Gangotri. Do you know what Gangotri is? Gangotri is the source of Ganga. So the water splashes out. Just like that, Digboy Refinery splashed the oil some days before the commission, some months before the commission. Now, anybody can tell why, what is the name of the, how the name of the Digboy came? There is a story. Under British supervision, some laborers were searching for oil throughout the India. One of the British supervisor was responsible or was responsible for this particular area, a small town in Assam. So he was busy. Months after months, their laborers were trying to dig out the material, they dig out the earth to find oil, but they were basically was doing this thing, and no results were coming. So at a very later stage where they were thinking of to give up, at an evening, one laborer was still digging and everybody left out. The British supervisor was taking, was packing his bag to go back to his camp. Suddenly, 3 or 4 drops of oil came out and drenched this person's eyes. So he immediately rushed to the supervisor and told that. So the supervisor came to the spot and he very eagerly called that person. Boy, come here, dig. So the more he was digging, the oil started coming. So he shouted, dig boy, dig. Then this particular spot was named as Digboy. So this was the Gangotri of Indian history for having the first hydrocarbon sector. And it was believed that we had oil inside the earth, and India is one part of this also. Then after that, there are a lot of refineries set up. Even on Bombay High in the ocean, this was set up. And oil extraction from the ground is very tough because there is a chance of spark during the tunnel boring, and lot of accidents happened already in the world in past 200 years during the oil extraction. So we will not go about that. We will start from where the crude we received. So the crude is the crude oil or petroleum. Petra means the rock and olea means oils. So petroleum is basically rock oil, which is subdued or stored under the semi-pervious rocks inside the earth's crust or mantle. So crude oil actually is a mixture of hydrocarbon that exists in liquid phase. It has hydrocarbons, that C1 into from C16, ES6 and lot more than that also. Some non-hydrocarbons like sulfur and various other metallic and non-metallic parts. Some drip gases that is formed by tar sands, and oil slate also. And petroleum products that are received or produced at refinery, even they are mixed back or blended for the same refinery to make it more flowable and to make it a feasible thing for the distillation column. That is called some early reflux or pre-reflux. Now, how exactly the system looks like? It looks like there is a wide arrow of gasoline, naphtha, diesel and jet fuel. These are petroleum products. What are the lubricants it has? Asphalt, ethane, propane and butane, and there are other products. So this is the base structure or base thing of lube oil. Crude oil. This is a refinery process. So I will take a lot more on that. So please ask any question if you come in mind. So the crude oil is refined. Crude oil is taken out from the inside of earth, and first it faces the ADU in the refineries, which is an atmospheric distillation column. Do you all know what a distillation column consists of? What are the components of distillation columns? Yes, Abhay, I missed it. You have told it Assam also. Very good. So in a distillation column, what are the components? You are all from chemical?
Sir, in distillation column, there may be lots of tray, maybe
And
babu
trays
cap
made
tray
of?
or trays made of,
I mean,
I don't know.
which type of category of trays?
Yeah, babu cap tray, babu type of tray may be frequently used in recent refinery.
Okay. Then what else?
Reboiler and condensers.
Reboiler and condensers. So, do you know what is flooding? What is weeping? This thing, you know, the basic
Yes, sir.
principle of distillation column.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So we are not going into details. The thing is that in a distillation column, the whole thing operates by the principle of boiling point. So inside a tray, the liquid comes from top and the gas comes from the bottom, and heat exchanger happens, and there is a mass transfer also. So whatever the material having a low boiling point, it will ultimately reach to the top, and the higher one will go to the bottom. According to that, the atmospheric distillation column has some cuts. From the top, the gas goes to the gas processing unit, where from the C4s are taken out. The C4 is LPG and other butanes. The N-butane, isobutane, these are the gases available, C4s available after the Marox treaters. And still the light gas, which remains at the top, they goes to the refinery fuel itself for the furnaces. And one part of the amine treater, amine TRE, treating, that actually separate the H2S gas. From that, sulfur is taken out. And you know what is the why is the sulfur is taken out from
It's very
H2S?
corrosive. Sulfur is very corrosive
Excellent.
matter.
Sulfur is very corrosive matter. So wherever sulfur is having a component with other thing, it actually corrodes or erodes the pipelines. So sulfur is always a bad thing for thing, bad for the product. And also sulfur is taken out to make hydrogen from the H2S, so that it can be used other portion also. Now the second cut from the top is a light naphtha, and the third cut is heavy naphtha, which after the hydrotreater is goes to the either catalytic reformer or isomerization plant to get the isomer or reformate, which ultimately turn out to be the feedstock for petrochemical, the naphtha.